Hey all my creative friends, how you guys doing today? This is another installment of my Graphic 45 Voyage Beneath the Sea. And I am super excited to bring you page 3 today. Plus, we're probably going to see, if I have enough time, what we're going to do with these. Okay, how I'm going to prep those. So anyway, I just wanted to remind you that we've got page 1, this belly band. And page 2, we've got a flip and a flip. And then these two little fun things. I did go back and take the brads out and put my orange paper that I wanted to put down on each one. So I did have to go back and do that after I got off camera. And then again, a flip and a flip. So there's page 2. So now we're going to work on page 3. And I think we're going to introduce a waterfall. Now, I know that I'm going to start my page on this side with this trim piece. So, and I will probably use something off of here to close up the waterfall. So now I just need to figure out what other things I want to do or how I want to do them. So I still had one paper that was cut the same distance, you know, the same height. So I think what I'm going to do is get my board out. What is that? Goodness. Okay. I'll get my board out. I'm going to go ahead and cut about 2 more pieces the same. I think there's 3 there. I'm going to use my other cutter for this because I did grab 3. And, whoops, and it'll go through 3 where I'm not so sure that one will. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Put that over in my save stash. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a 1/2 inch. Oopsie. There we go. Take your time, Lisa. That doesn't look straight at all. And it's not really. Let's try that again. That's better. Yeah, so I must not, this is the old one I had. I must not have cut it just exactly straight. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put that one in my we'll use later pile. And we're going to go ahead and do a 1/2 inch on each side of this first one and see what we end up with. Okay. For a second here. You stay back there, please. Thank you very much. I hope everybody's been having a good day. And life is treating you well. We are a little hot today, so you're seeing the whole bare arm. Yeah, it's warm here today. Yeah, so it's a good day to come in out of the warmth. Okay, so this still needs to be cut down just a smidge. I didn't even check them. Okay, well the other 2 look fine. I wonder if it got crooked. Yep, it got crooked. Let me just cut these because I think I will go ahead and make them just a little smaller, but only by a titch, just a titch, not where you're going to be seeing matted paper underneath it or anything like that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and cut that down. All right. So let's try this again. So for my first one, I'm going to want it to go all the way to the edge, except leaving just a little bit. Well, no, there will be a little bit of a blue line. So I'm going to leave just a smidge of space so that when this is opening, it's not opening up against another paper and it'll open nicer, okay? Not really much of a difference, but... So I'm going to go ahead and mark this to go all the way over, not getting into the score line, but going all the way over. So let's lift this up a little bit. And that is one reason why I paper clipped, so that I could kind of get this started without gluing that down, because I still got a lot to do on that end. So I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from my first score line. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that and see what it leaves me. Whew, fell right off my thing. See what it leaves me here. And yeah, see, it's only like 1/4 of an inch difference, which I will want it to be a little bit more than that. But that's the reason for putting the flips on both sides. You end up with 2 off one paper, and you only have to come to the scoreboard once. So just trying to craft, you know, as you get older, you got to do things smarter. So I'm finding that in my crafting capacity as well. I'm trying to do things a little smarter than I used to. At least what I feel for me works. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. It's just really is working nicely for me. Okay, so now I got my first one. So yeah, I've got my first one done. So I'm going to, I think, paper clip so I can try and, ooh, we're going to get very colorful here. We've got pink, red, yellow, but I just want to paper clip the flap on it, not, I mean, the little, you know, our little hinge. I just want to paper clip that. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to look like this and leave myself a nice little space, about 1/8 of an inch, 1/16, somewhere in there. And then I'll push that all the way down, but I still want to be able to close this. And then we're going to get this one on this side the same. And that looks to be good right there. Get my other. Now, I didn't center it top to bottom. I'm just getting placement for my next, because I want to see, this is the one I cut with this one. I want to see well, that is just not straight or something. I'm having an issue with something here, and I'm just not quite sure what it is. Yes, and that is not straight. You know, guys, sometimes the paper is not straight. If you ever have taken a piece 8.5 by 11 out and actually put it on and seen, sometimes they are not straight. So don't always feel like it's you, because it's not always you. It is not always you. Okay, so now this one, when we close this, I want this one to be underneath it, and I want it to be about a 1/2 inch back. So I'm using my grid to get my line where I want to cut. There we go. Now I want to see this will still put on a nice 4x6 for you, okay? So I don't want to go any smaller than this. So that will be my second one, just like that. So now I want to take, and I want to do the same thing over here. I'm going to come in just a little bit from the score line. And this, I'm removing this one. I want to pull this up so I can actually see what I'm working with as far as space on this side. Okay, so I have my spacing here the way I want it. And I want this top flap to come inside of this top flap. I'm not worried about this one because it's going to be underneath this. Like a little surprise or something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to make about 1/8 inch inside that flap. Oopsie. Then I drop it. Okay. So now I have this here. And then I want, you know, I actually don't mind them being different sizes. Let me see how this one, okay, this is going to have to be cut down. Because I can see where my 1/2 inch is on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one down about 1/4 inch smaller. So say I had this like this, and this is going to butt up. That flap is going to butt up against that flap. That's what I was doing, just without you actually seeing it. And then I've cut it 3/8 inch from the edge of the first flap we have paper clipped down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I keep jumping back and forth from different cutters, trying to let you see what I'm doing. Get that in the center there. Make sure it's all, there we go. Okay. So now we'll go will be flap, flap. I could actually flip this one this way. Flap. And then this one will fit inside, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So now I'll give you the measurements of all these, okay? So that will be easiest for you, I am sure. Since measurements have not been my thing. Not been my thing. This. Okay, so. Now, the first one that we did is 5 5/8 by just a 1/16 of an inch off of 7.5. So it's less than 7.5. If you want it the same height, go ahead and do that. If you don't, then cut them all the same, whatever. If you want a little bit of a ledge or whatever. So, so that's what I did. So that's the first one. And on the, what was it, 5 5/8 side, you'll score down the 1/2 inch. All right. The next one is the same. 5 5/8 by a little short. So these two are exactly the same. Yeah, they're exactly the same. So you need 2 of those. And then the next size is 4 7/8 by the 7 3/8. 7 3/8, between 7 3/8 and 7.5. So again, that's going to be your choice as to what you want to do there. And then this last one is 4 5/8. And then, of course, you know the one size. Okay, so that is what we're going to do there. But I'm not going to put them on until after I have done my edging and stuff. So let's see what else we're going to do on this page first, okay? So now here I had, this was the piece left over, and then I added this taller piece to it to get my height that I needed for my page heights. I made a hinge to make the pocket. I still have this hinge I need to do, so if I can grab one of those strips I just put in here. Well, that one's a little thin. Here, this one's better. Always look at your scraps, guys. Use them up, because then they just end up in a drawer. And then you finally get tired of looking at them and you throw them away. Okay, so let's see, 3/8. 3/8 looks like it's going to be kind of halfway in the middle of this. So, whatever strip you've got, if it's less than an inch, just go with it. There's nothing that says literally that your hinges have to be a 1/2 inch. I think it's just kind of an industry standard for all of us. But if you don't have the room, or if you have a piece that's not quite the inch, use it. What the heck, you know? There's no rule out there that says, oh my gosh, it's not a 1/2 inch, it's going to fall apart. Not going to happen. A 1/2 inch is probably a good idea when you can, but it's not absolutely necessary. So I have this one just slightly under. So that's what I did here. There we go. Put that back over there. Let's put some glue on this. And that will finish out our pocket. And I'm thinking here that I'm probably going to make like it's been pretty popular right now making like 3 tags and having tabs on them. I think that's been very popular right now, and I like that. I love that look. But I was kind of an office person all my life, so you would think I go, God, that looks too much like work. Okay, so we've got that one on. So now we have a wonderfully big pocket. And of course, we're leaving the fronts and the backs absolutely plain until after we get all of these put together. So basically, that is our 3rd page for right now. The fronts and backs we're just going to see what we're going to be able to do with those once we kind of get a little further along. So we have those now, but now I want to, because I do need to start utilizing these. Now, these are very, it's cardstock, so, you know, it's doing its thing, but they're flimsy. So, you know, too flimsy to have somebody grabbing them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that I would work on these and show you what I'm hoping is going to make them a little more, you know, a little more better. More better. Okay, so basically I'm going to be putting glue on this, and I think I'll do a little bit at a time because I do want to get this all adhered down. So I'm taking my time trying to really get enough glue on so it will. Okay, so let's go ahead and push this. So this is both of these are the tops. The top is up. It's the only way they'll go together. I mean, you could do both the bottoms down, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're lining it up. Just take your time. I wanted to have a little wiggle space, so that's why I'm not waiting until it's so tacky that once it touches I can't squiggle it. Got to be able to squiggle it. Just want to line that up so it looks like it's just one piece. Now if you can cut these out of 110 pound or something like that, and I think going forward I might try and glue two pieces together and then cut them out. I think the die cut will do that because that will be a lot easier. A lot easier than chasing these little suckers around while they're getting glue on them and such. So, I might try that. Alright, let's go ahead and put these few down. Okay, and then this last little bit. Oopsie. It's hard to hit a move. Oh, look at me putting glue on top. Okay, that's alright. We're going to be putting more things on top anyway, so not a problem. And just try and line everything up. Okay, so it is much more substantial at this point, but we are not done. So I also think, now these are what's left over. Let me show you. See, it fits right in. So this is what's left over from the cut. But I thought that's kind of neat to have two different waves. Okay, so I am going to glue these together. As you can tell, I didn't cut very well. But I am going to glue these together. And then okay. Yeah, this one is much easier. Duh. Much easier to get properly down. All right. Kind of following that top edge. I think about 3 at a time is enough. And fill in everything else. And just lay this one down. Let's burnish a little. All right, and then the rust. Okay. There we go. All right, so we've got 2 of those done. That will give you a good look at what I'm going to do with all of these. I still need to make some more, but like I said, I think I will glue 2 pieces together and try that first. So, what's next is I still want to make these even more. Where is my... There it is. Here we go. Okay, I've got diamond glaze. You can use diamond glaze. You can use any of those that are clear. Crystal Effects. I can't remember what the other one is. I haven't used this stuff in ages, but I thought, well, this will be perfect. Okay, so I am just going to go around and cover all of this surface with this diamond glaze. And this is going to help strengthen it as well. Well, probably more so than even doubling it. And I'm going to do this on both sides of it. Just take your time and go around and get all of the surface. Actually not squeezing, it's just letting the gravity kind of let it come out. So I don't have quite as much to, since I'm doing both sides, I'm not trying to get it really thick. Once in a while I'm having to give it a little, I get a little air bubble in there, so I'm having to give it a little squeeze. But you can see that this, and then I'm not going to leave it where it sits, because if any of it dripped off the side, then it's liable to stick and then tear it when I pull it up. Don't want that. Alright, and I know that mostly the ends are not going to get used because my page is shorter than this whole thing. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this thing, but I'm only going to do it from the wave. What's below the wave, I'm not going to do, because I feel like this one is, because it's a more substantial piece that's left. I'm just going to, and that way I think it'll be easier to glue it down too. Just going straight across underneath the edge of the dips of the wave. You just want to kind of make sure you try and keep the flow going, whether you're doing a light squeeze or just using gravity, because if you pick it up and put it down, pick it up and put it down, you're going to end up with a lot of air bubbles. So you want to kind of do this in one fell swoop. And again, I don't think getting these end pieces really well, because I just don't think I'm going to be using them. But anyway, so there is that one. You always want on these to make sure that you don't have an air pocket and that you have emptied out your snout of your glue. And a lot of times just tapping it sideways like that will work, but that way, because if that gets froze up, you usually have to get another bottle. It's kind of a big pain. So anyway, I'm going to do that with both, and we're at 31 minutes, so that's about where I've been trying to make these videos. So that's what I'm going to do with all of these, except I am, once this dries, then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing with the other side. I see that I have quite, let's see, I want the pointed, quite a few little bubbles right here at my beginning. Just teeny ones. Just want to pop those. And then if you want to, you can go back with some more glue and just get those out of there. Okay. Sorry about the banging. There we go. All right. All right, guys. Well, so we have our third page done. Yay. And now you guys can see what I was doing here. If you don't have, you know, and you're doing, you want to do some kind of wave or something, you could definitely take some of your strips that you're having and coloring books. If you got a coloring book, they probably going to have a wave in them. But I mean, you can just take and make a wave. You know, just, it doesn't have to be perfect every time. Waves aren't the same, but you could definitely do something like that, or you could just do something like this. You know, just kind of a big scallop. You know, whatever it is, if you want to do this one, you could even take like a light blue tulle and just take two strips. You know, take a strip, fold it in half. Let me just cut this off. And then take, let's see, what do I have here? Something that would look neat. Okay, so you could take a bit of this, spread it out among your, and close it. And it's just going to give you a little bit of a ruffly thing. See, that's really pretty. And so you know, you can do stuff with fibers. You can do stuff. This is this stuff with, you could just put that along the edge of your paper and it would give you motion, and you know, it would just give you some cool fun things to look at. So, you know, the sky's the limit, guys. You don't have to have these dies. You don't you can create your own. If you find one wave, if you do one wave that you really like, cut it out and then just slide it over and do it again. Slide it over and do it again. Slide, you know, if you want them all the same. Yeah, so anyway, so that is what I am going to try and finish getting these cut out and getting them done so I can go ahead and put them on. So when we're done with page number 4, which is our last page to do, then we can start decorating and we can get these on. That will be so fun to see how that looks. All right, guys, that is it for the day. We are gonna, let's see, because this is Tuesday's video. It's Monday today. So this is tomorrow's video, and then on Thursday we'll get page 4 done. And I'm doing every Tuesday and Thursday with this while I'm working on the Christmas and July stuff. So I hope I can keep you guys going and happy with the, you know, the increments that I'm giving you. Just let me know, guys, okay? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Hey, guys, one more thing. Ooh, get back up in there. One more thing I wanted to tell you on these is that I do want to use, keep bringing this back, I do want to use, I believe it's this one, yeah, on all of these. So, 2 that are the same. And then this one. Love it. Alrighty. Now we're not doing the tops and bottoms of the outside pages because I want, you know, these waves on there. So, anywho, I just wanted to remind you of that. And there we go. Okay. Bye for now. Be kind to each other and make something you love. All right, guys. Bye.